c'est le diable de Zuru.
Amara Cole had been singing at the Moon Hotel in Seoul, South Korea for 14 months when the building quietly changed owners. Nobody told her. She did not find out. One Thursday night, she finished her last set, accepted the applause with a small nod and honest exhaustion, and walked to the bar where her friend Diana was already waiting with 2 drinks and 0 patience for talk. What Amara did not know was that the man who now owned the hotel had been standing at the back of the lounge for the last 40 minutes. His name was Jan. He was 36 years old, Korean, with the kind of stillness that people always mistake for calm, right up until they get close enough to feel what is actually sitting behind them. On paper, he ran a private acquisition company that bought hotels, restaurants, and commercial buildings across Seoul. Off paper, he was something considerably more complicated than that. He had come to the Moon Hotel that night to inspect his new asset. He left thinking about a voice. If this story already has you, please subscribe and hit the notification button. New stories drop every week. 3 days later, Jay's right-hand man, Tae, appeared at Amara's table after her Sunday performance. He was calm, polite, spoke excellent English, and delivered a contract extension, 12 months, 40% salary increase, along with the information that the hotel's new owner would like to meet her in person. Diana's eyebrows shot up immediately. Amara's went slightly inward. That look she made whenever good things arrived dressed in clothes she did not understand. She agreed to the meeting. She told herself it was purely about the money. Her mother's medication back in New Orleans had become expensive, and the Moon's hotel rooftop terrace overlooked the Han River in a way that she had always wanted to sit at it properly. With nowhere to be and nothing to rush toward, Jay was already there when she arrived. 2 cups of tea poured, both ready, which felt presumptuous and somehow also thoughtful. And she hated that she noticed both things at exactly the same time. They talked for 2 full hours. He asked about her music with specific curiosity of someone who had genuinely listened, not the polite enthusiasm of someone being careful. She asked what brought him to Seoul Hotel's business. He said opportunity. She pushed, what kind of opportunity? He said the kind that requires patience. It was true, and it was also a deflection, and she let it go because she knew deflection personally. She used it herself more often than she admitted. She signed the contract extension the following morning. Diana looked at her for a long moment and said, "Sure, it's just about the money." Then she pulled her into a hug and whispered, "Be careful," the way she always did when she meant something much, much bigger. 6 weeks into the new contract, a man named Boss Vic introduced himself to Amara after a Sunday night performance. He told her he was a journalist writing about Seoul's underground art scenes. He was Korean American, warm, easy to talk to, and his questions were directional in a way that real journalists. She signed the contract extension the following morning. almost never is. Always circling the hotel, the ownership change, whether she had noticed anything different in the recent months. He never once said Jay's name directly. He only ever asked around it, which is actually a more practiced technique, and therefore more visible to anyone paying the right kind of attention. That same evening, Amara mentioned the conversation to Jay, not because she had fully connected every dot yet, but because something about Boss Vic had felt slightly off-angle, and she had slowly learned that off-angle things inside Jay's world had a habit of being very important. Jay's face did not move a single muscle when she described him. Tay had his phone out before she even finished her second sentence. Amara, he said, her first name out loud for the very first time. I need to tell you something. All of it. Before you decide how you feel about anything. He told her the truth. The shape of it at least. Boss Vic was a Korean-American financial crimes investigator, working with the International Task Force. The Moon Hotel accusation was part of the financial structure that operated well outside legal boundaries. And Jay had known about Boss Vic's presence in Seoul for 11 days before she ever mentioned him. You already knew? She said. Yes. And you waited to see if I would come to you. A silence followed, long enough to be its own answer. And they both knew it. I wanted to know which side you would choose, he said quietly, without ever having to ask you to choose it. The anger that moved through her was cold and clean, not the explosive kind, but the structural kind, the kind that shows you exactly where you are standing and exactly what it is costing you. He had used her closeness to him, Boss Vic's presence in Seoul for 11 days before she ever met. He had watched. He had waited to see what she would do. She left without a word. Boss Vic found her 2 days later at a small cafe on Myung Street, 2 blocks from the hotel. He set his badge flat on the table between them and said he suspected she already knew what it was. He told her that her professional background, a business degree, 3 years managing her own touring finances, made her exactly the kind of person who would understand what she had been looking at inside Jian's company. He told her that her communication had been monitored for 2 weeks. He had watched. He had waited to see what she would do. He told her that the question was no longer whether she was connected to his investigation. The question now was simply which side of it she ended up on. And here is what Boss Vic did not know. 2 weeks before Amara ever stepped into the Moon Hotel in Seoul, before Tay ever appeared at her table with a contract, before any of this had started, she had received a phone call from an elderly Korean woman in New Orleans named Mama Zhu. Mama Zhu was 70 years old, a neighborhood elder who had lived 3 houses down from Amara's family since Amara was a child. Mama Zhu called to say she was dying and that she had been carrying a secret for over 20 years that belonged to Amara and not to her. She told Amara about her father, who had died when Amara was 4 years old. She told her that he had worked as a financial go-in-between for a Korean trade network operating across the Pacific, that when he tried to walk away from it, he could not. That the people connected to that network had watched over Amara's mother in the years after his death, quietly from a distance, paying for things that her mother believed were scholarships and continuity grants and lucky timing. And that the man at the center of that network, man whose people had been watching over her family for 2 decades without ever introducing themselves, had a name. His name was Jehan. Amara had not come to Seoul for a signing contract or a singing contract. She had come because she needed to find the man who had shaped the invisible edges of her entire life. And she needed to look at him with her own eyes. And she needed to decide, in her own time, on her own terms, what she thought about all of it. She had not expected him to be honest. She had not expected 2 cups of tea already poured. She had not expected the long conversation, or the way he listened like someone who actually intended to remember what he heard. She had not expected any of the things that had grown slowly and without her permission, in the space between 2 people who somehow recognized something real in each other. She gave Boss Vic enough, a partial company structure, one routine sequence that Jay's team had already abandoned months before, genuine information, deliberately incomplete, not full justice and not full betrayal. Something honest that lived in difficult space between both, which is where most real humans' decisions actually live. She packed 2 bags. She sent one message to an unsaved number. He has the old routine, not the current one. You have time, use it well. Then she checked out of the Moon Hotel without looking back and took a connecting flight from Incheon Airport to Lisbon, where Diana's cousin had a spare room and the rare generous quality of not asking unnecessary questions. She heard through Diane that the investigation produced 2 arrests, mid-level operators in Jay's company, and a partial asset freeze across 2 accounts. Jehan's name was not on any of the charges. The case against him specifically had not produced enough evidence to move forward. She did not know if that was because of what she gave Boss Vic or because of what she held back. She suspected it was both working together, the way 2 quiet forces often do. 4 months after she left Seoul, a plane package arrived at the Lisbon address that only Diana knew. Inside was a small wireless speaker and a USB drive. No notes, no card, nothing written anywhere. Just one audio file saved on the drive. Her own voice. The Thursday night performance. I'll be seeing you. The version she had sung on the night. Jehan first walked into the back of her lounge and stopped mid-sentence and forgot to put down his water glass. Recorded clean from somewhere in the room, kept for all the months in between, sent with no explanation at all. She sat with it for a long time in her Lisbon apartment, with salt air coming through the open window, thinking about what it means when a man keeps the exact moment he first heard you. Keeps it the way you keep something you cannot afford to lose, and then sends it back to you without a single word, trusting that you will understand. She understood. She already knew what she was going to do next. She just was not ready to say it out loud yet.
I love you. I want you to know that. You mean everything to me. Why are you in my head all the time?
'Cause I own you.